Hey guys, how's it going? So, this is the new game Star Savior, not to be confused with Star Sailors or Star Rail or any number of the other games with star in their name, because it seems like that's the most common word if you're from Asia to make a gacha game, or you maybe put re in the name, whatever. Either way, this game just came out and it's been out for a few months in Japan and Korea already. But it just came out in global, and the reviews are not so good on Steam because apparently when the game came out there were lots of issues, people were unsatisfied, etc. But the game seems to be in a much more stable state right now. But what is this game? Well, it's a mixture of almost every gacha ever that I've ever seen, with some kind of cool ideas in here. So first of all, the game is kind of like Honkai Star Rail in how it plays and looks, but then it has PvP similar to Epic 7 or Counterside, which is the previous game that these developers made. These are the devs of Counterside, Studio B-Side, so they actually had a collaboration with some of the characters for the game right now, and they look pretty great. I'm actually happy about that. But it's also a combination of Nikkei with having systems such as the pull system is the exact same, and it has something like this, Starlink, which you may recognize, where all of your highest level characters are thrown right here, and any character you put here is instantly leveled to the exact same point as them. So it has that exact same kind of system. If you look at the pull system right here, you'll notice that the game has a spark system. If you look at the rates, it's 4%, which is absurdly high for games, but then it's 2% for this rate up character, and then you can get all the other characters. It's not a 50-50 system. As you pull, you get points, and you can trade these points for the character, or just wait for the next banner and instantly trade them in to get them too. So that's pretty cool as well. So it has those systems, but then here's the craziest part of the entire game. It also has Umamusume Journey. Yes, this game is also a horse girl raising game, but instead of raising horse girls, you raise all of these different characters, and it gives them stat upgrades that you can use in other content in the game, like PvP, PvE, challenge stages, any of that kind of stuff. They get strength, vitality, endurance, focus, protection, and let's say I decide to go on a run with this character. Oh, look at this. I can look at 2 previous runs of characters that I did and inherit extra chance to get their abilities. And then what are these? These are the Uma support cards. Yes, you do not pull for weapons in this game. Instead, you pull for support cards, just like Umamusume. So yeah, this game is sort of like a bastardized chimera of every single gacha altogether, but it's actually kind of cool. Now, if you've played some of these games, you'll instantly recognize how similar these different elements are, but if you don't really understand how some of them work, it'll be a pretty strange thing to play at first, because you're going to actually have to follow a lot of tutorials, and there are a lot of tutorials. Now, a lot of people are re-rolling in the game. The game had a bit of a weird Steam launch where people had issues re-rolling because if you tried to delete your account to make a new one, it said that the text box, like the information you put in, was too long, because you have to type in like, I want to delete my account, and that was too many words, and so you had to swap your language to Korean and then copy paste the Korean word for like delete account in there or something, which was really goofy. And then some of the words were in Korean, but they immediately patched that stuff out. So it seems like overall the launch is all right. Now, it does run like absolute garbage on a lot of people's phones, apparently, despite being on Unity. I'm not sure what's going on there. And on PC, I've heard some people have issues. It's been running great for me. It even has like 120 FPS on 4K, all those kinds of options. Now, let me just show what the combat looks like, because sometimes a picture is worth 1,000 words. So, how it works is you have 2 characters that are in the back, technically, and 2 characters in front. Characters in front are attacked 80% of the time by PvE enemies, and they especially focus tank-type characters. So, if I just go in, like, right here, we'll go into this stage, and I've been running these stages on auto, mostly, because I'm not at a point where I actually need to fight difficult battles. But this is running the game at 1x speed. You can double it, so you can be doing them a lot faster. You can't skip the animations or anything, but this is pretty much how the game looks. Now, if I turn off auto right after this, after my Yumina attacks here, doing a bunch of damage. So, you have the usual. Let me move my camera right here. You have basic attack, you have the second skill, which, I mean, this is giving like immunity and defense up and stuff, and then you have your ult, and obviously the ult animations are a little fancier. But then you also have this little burst thing that you can activate, and you have this thing. This is basically like a special operator partner, where once you have them stacked up, you can use their ability, and you can also level them up. They can give some strong bonuses, but burst also, it makes your next ability essentially empowered. So if you look at this one, now it has a Nova Burst ability. But it doesn't change the animation or anything, but it does make it stronger. So the game has a lot of little intricacies in combat, but I'm not sure how deep it really is, since this is just a day one review. She's a tank, so she's not going to put out much damage, but she basically takes none either. But anyways, let me just set this to auto right here. This is pretty much how the combat looks and how the game functions overall. Overall, I would say this game is pretty damn fun. I've been enjoying it quite a bit. Now, you might say it seems like it is too much going on, or maybe it's boring to you don't really like turn-based games. That's totally understandable. But I've been actually waiting for this game for a while. Their previous game, Counterside, was a game that I really enjoyed, even though it had a bunch of problems. And so, I was excited to see, well, what's their next game going to be like? Is it going to be really fun? I don't know. And so far, it's been pretty enjoyable. Now, let me show you something else, and this is a big concern, and this also relates to their previous game, Counterside. So, how does the power creep or dupe system work? So far, it doesn't seem like there's a crazy amount of power creep as far as I can tell. A lot of the earlier characters still seem good or usable, but there is some concerns about how dupes work, since this game does have PvP after all. So if you look at this, every character has 3 stages for dupes, and then everything else after gives a stat bonus, so it's kind of similar to Nikke, right? Most of these characters, it doesn't really give too much. So like an entire dupe right here is 5% max HP. Then the second dupe right here doesn't even give the HP, but increases the chance of her preemptive guard. So some of them, oh actually no, it increases the max HP by 5% as well. So her dupe actually does something kind of a little bit better than some of the others. But then if you look at a character such as, let's say, Yumina, her dupe, it's kind of like a smaller overall bonus because it's not for a percent chance thing. So first of all, this is what her passive does. This thing, 5% attack. Then when you get more dupes, it increases the percentage a little bit and more attack. So some of those don't seem like the biggest bonuses, but could matter, especially in something like PvP. Now, I've played a game like Epic 7 a lot, and dupes were stat bonuses mostly in that game, and they didn't make that much of a difference, but I don't know how it's going to be in this game. There is one character, however, not this Ashura, this separate Ashura, that they have different versions of characters, where dupes start to matter a little bit. This is the only character in the entire game that has this dupe thing, and I don't know if they're going to do that in the future, but her initial ability, increase health by 5%. The most vanilla crap thing you've ever seen. One dupe. Wow, what's that? There's a whole paragraph where now suddenly she's restoring health after she uses her basic attack, and she has a chance to do dual attacks. What's up with that? Where did this come from? So this character is a little bit of a concern in that way. Now, supposedly they're not going to do that in future characters, but who knows? You can never really tell how a gacha is actually going to go in the future at any given point. Now, we were talking about polls. Let me just show you what the poll animation looks like. You know the rates are 4%. I have some standard polls right here. So this is the standard poll for characters. Insanely high rates of SSRs. You're going to be flooded with characters constantly. So it's pretty easy to get the dupes of standard characters, but who knows about limited. Now they do have fake outs. Let's hope this purple turns into a gold right here. And it's garbage, but well. I care a little bit more about the Arcana one. Let's see how this is. And it's also garbage. Unfortunate. Well, maybe I should have done it before shooting this video, but what can you do? But anyways, overall the polls are pretty good. They're giving 1,000 polls to new players. Not all at once, mind you. It's over a period of time of like probably 1 month, plus just doing all the stuff in game. You're getting like flooded with polls all the time as you complete things. So it's totally the opposite of some games, such as like how it feels in like Enfield or Seven Deadly Sins, where you feel like you're getting trickled the polls. I feel like I'm getting a good amount of polls in this game, and I've been liking that so far. Also, if you're a spender, the shop actually has some ridiculous packs. Like, I spent $100 and got 220 standard polls, which was unreal. Sure, it takes money, but just bang for your buck. that's pretty damn good, I would say. In fact, let me do a 10 pull on this banner real quick too, because I would love to get this. Please? SSR. Come on, be a fake out. It's garbage. Oh my god, what am I doing? But anyways, that's kind of the basic gist of how this game works. Now, I can show you something else real quick with the PvP, because a lot of people are wondering, like, well, what is it like? So they have ranked matches, friendly matches, and strategy battle. Strategy battle is basically you attack defense teams. So you're not actually doing legit PvP against other players, and you even have a skip battle option, which I think is really great. But just for the sake of things, I'm going to go into it like this. But it's pretty nice. You can literally just click a button and instantly skip as though you were autoing the battle as well. But this is so easy, I can just auto it. But so I'm fighting this AI version of this guy's defense team, and I'm going to absolutely blast them. This person named June is absolutely about to be rolled. Now, another thing this game has for other player interaction is it has guilds. And the guilds doesn't seem super important. What I mean by that is it's not like you have to be the sweatiest or anything like that. It seems like you kind of go into a more casual guild and kind of enjoy it. It's not PvP or guild wars or anything like that. It's just like this guild boss that you and everyone else in the guild attacks, and the cumulative score gives you some free stuff at the end. Some like currency stuff and other things like that. So, pretty simple overall. The guild system though, an annoying part is guilds aren't really that big, so it can be kind of a pain if you need a ton of people, or if you want a ton of people in your guild, especially if you have friends or something like that. Our guild only has like 22 people and goes up with each level, but that's pretty much it. Nothing crazy like that. But yeah, I blasted this guy. I'm in bronze 3 because I'm a scrub. Everyone's a scrub right now though, so it's fine. Then if you look at the ranking right here, this is an interesting thing. The first person to clear each specific thing gets a ranking. It's a little bit goofy. There's just this guy from Korea that's absolutely smurfing on everyone right now, probably wailed to hell. Whoever this guy is, Goo, he is absolutely blasting us. A bit sad that some guy just made an account on the server and is owning everyone in the entire game right now. But what are you gonna do? After you complete almost everything, you're going to be able to grab tons of stuff from these. And also this game, as you can tell, is red dot simulator. They're literally everywhere in the game. Now, one thing I also want to talk about really quickly is gearing. What is the gearing like in this game? Well, it's RNG gearing with substats. So if you hate that, maybe that puts off the game for you. Now, I don't know how good or bad it is, but it does seem to have kind of similar sort of gearing and stats to a game like Epic 7. It has like health, effect resistance, speed, crit, HP, effect hit rate, all that kind of stuff. So it's kind of using a similar gear system. It has some similar sets and some different ones that are like duo sets as well, and use 6 pieces of gear with like a necklace and ring. So tell me if you've heard this before. A lot of similarities in that way. It has stuff like affection system, and apparently it's going to be adding skins as well. And if you look right here, these are actually skills or talents that I learned from the Uma Musume game mode. So this game has like so many different elements to get stronger that it feels a little bit overwhelming. Now, you can speed clear these runs as well, which I think is something very cool. So you don't have to sit there and do all the Uma runs, all of your journey runs, to get stronger as well. But overall, how is this game? I find it pretty fun. I think it's not going to be for a lot of people. If any of these things put you off, I think that's totally understandable, but the game as a whole, I find pretty enjoyable because I like a lot of these different little elements. Now, how will this game be in the future? I'm not really sure. It could become a pay-to-win mess, or it could just be a pretty solid, fun little game to play. It seems like you can sink a pretty good amount of time into this game if you really want to, or you could probably play it relatively casually if you want that as well. It seems like it's pretty friendly for people who want to spend money, and it seems like free-to-plays are getting a lot of characters. Now, I do recommend re-rolling. Pretty much everyone is re-rolling for this character, Ashura, and trying to get that one dupe for that special ability. And when you re-roll, you're getting like 50 to 60 pulls at least, so it's not the worst, I would say, for like a 5 to 10 minute re-roll. All in all, I recommend this game. I don't think it's the craziest experience you're ever going to play in your entire life, but I think it's very nice, and I think some people will really appreciate it. Maybe people who haven't played these types of games will find that they like a lot of the little elements. So I think the game is pretty fun. If you enjoyed that, then maybe try it out. And also, as always, thanks so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like or subscribe to the channel, and I hope to see you next time.